Okay, so this is Mortal Kombat. We've got Rodney here. He's doing some finishing touches, rebuilding stuff, connecting wires, the usual thing. So we want to spend a minute with Rodney since he's been kind enough to give us the time, find out a little bit more about himself, his project, and maybe this is something that'll be interesting to you guys. So if Rodney, do you have a few minutes with us?
Sure.
Okay.
No problem.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a DMS member here in this great facility, and I see you've got a great project here. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I've been a DMS member for about 6 months, and enjoy being here. Part of the Vector group. You know, enjoy being around fellow builders and stuff like that you know, like to build arcade machines, and, you know, people you can identify with in regards to, you know, how to build these things, how to make them better.
That's right.
And have a little bit of fun.
And I have to admit, this thing looks absolutely professional production, full stand-up arcade. I think it looks great. It's amazing. I mean, take a look at the detail he's put into here. Tell us a little about this panel here. It's really good.
This is, as you can see, it's a Mortal Kombat X tab, and that's the Mortal Kombat logo.
Right,
so
right.
that particular logo, I took the CNC class and took the Vector and was able to cut it and then put translucent plexi behind it.
Translucent, okay.
And so, and also to light it from the back, there's a Halloween light within the cab that shines through the front side of it to give it that fire effect. And just came up with the idea. I was taking my daughters to a big Halloween store over there off 121, and I just saw this thing circling, and I was like, and people were shining these things on houses, and I said, okay, well, this might look pretty good shining behind, you know, translucent. So I waited till the day after Halloween. Everything was 50% off.
Oh yeah.
Grabbed a couple of them and grabbed some translucent from the plastics place that's about that's right up the street here, and shined it in the back of it, and it turned out really good.
Okay, good. Now I see you've got some really nice looking graphics on the side as well.
Yes.
Marquees, and on the side panels, front panels, even the control panel. Look at that. It's fantastic. So he's booting it up. Oh, so now we can see the effect here. So it's rolling like a flame. Okay.
And if I'll show you in the back.
All right.
See, it's just a Halloween light here.
Oh, okay.
So what people were doing for Halloween and Christmas, this one's called Fire and Ice, and there's another one that's a blue and like white one. So you take these and stake these in your front yard, and then you shine them over, and they basically broadcast this orangey, yellowish looking thing all over your house. So I just took the same concept and put it in here.
Okay, that's a great effect. I like that. Okay. And so we're looking at a few other pieces here. Looks like you got a sub down here.
So yeah, most people, when they first saw this, they thought that I had two computers in here. So this is just a subwoofer. This was actually a pretty good setup. It's about 5 or 6 years old when it first came out, but this was actually brand new. It's an Xbox 360 surround sound.
Okay.
And I got it for $50 off of Craigslist.
That'll work.
So it gives you 5 speakers plus a sub, and it sounds really good. So let's see what else here. This is the computer. So this is running on an i5 with 8 gigs of RAM, GTX 960 video card, MSI crate motherboard, custom built from the ground up with a power supply, and then a Bluetooth keyboard if I ever need to do any maintenance on the PC. I just got a Bluetooth module, flip this on, and I'm able to actually do all the maintenance and stuff without having to plug in a keyboard.
Convenient. Good.
Convenient, so.
Yeah. All right, and this monitor, I see, so the cabinet itself is short, right? And you've got a flat screen monitor in here.
It's a 32-inch LED television. When I got the computer from Dell, they actually threw in a free television, so it actually worked out pretty good. That's one of the reasons why I got the computer. Well, the Dell was my personal computer. This I got from Newegg, but that was one of the reasons I got that particular computer, because they threw in the free television, because I knew I was going to build this.
Sweet, yeah. And looks like it fits perfect in your cabinet. It's right almost the complete width. So it's a perfect width cabinet.
It's around about 32. You really can't go no more than about 33 inches because most doors are like 34.
Okay.
So if you build it too wide, you won't be able to get it to the front door. So that was one of the specs that you have to really take in consideration, is to make sure when you build these things, they fit through your front door.
Right.
So the 32-inch television, the width-wise and everything, it sits, like I said, pretty much perfectly. So it ended up being the perfect, width and the height, because the first one I built was a monster and I barely got through my front door. So I tried to, skim it down a little bit so it would be a little bit easier to get in the house.
Okay. Let's get back on this cabinet. Look how professional this is done. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It looks like it was completely perfectly matched and perfectly built.
Yeah, these are 120 millimeter fans, and the majority of the work, I mean, if you do your design, the CNC does a majority of the work for you. So all these rebates, cuts, the screw holes and everything, if you take the time to do your measurement, CNC will cut it perfect for you, and then all you have to do is basically just dress it up.
Okay. Now these are cool graphics. I mentioned it before. Where do you get something like this? That's fantastic.
I'm a member of the arcade forums, and so there was a guy on there, his name by the name of Paulie Barnes, and he's a graphic designer. So I basically gave him my vision, and he took my vision and did what you see here.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. I mean, the detail on that's just pro.
So a lot of the stuff, like this particular piece here, and this particular character here, that's just graphics that you can actually pull off of the internet. But he actually did the X-ray piece of it.
Okay.
And then he also redesigned that logo. He put it in 3D and went and put it in high definition for me for the resolution. Because the actual one that I did have, it was more 2D, but he actually took that and really did a good job with it.
Fantastic. And same thing for this control panel?
For the control panel, he came up with the lava effect. And then I came up with the factions here at the bottom.
Okay.
And then, of course, I have the speakers in this thing here.
Oh, yeah.
So this particular piece of it there, I have my speakers and stuff at the bottom. And then so I have my cutouts and stuff here.
Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Where are you at in this project? It looks like it's basically done. What more do you need to do here?
Well, I was in the middle of some maintenance tonight, so I was redoing some of the software, and I was also updating my boards here for the control panel, so it can be PC and console. I have that to do. I have to finish up, paint the marquees, put this on top of it, and once I get that configured and running, it's ready to go.
Okay. Well, fantastic. I know you also did a course. You're gracious enough to give a course on how to put something like this together, custom cabinet, some other information. What was that like? Your first course here?
Yeah, that was my first course here, and I just had a lot of people ask me, said, okay, well, what did you do to build this? What kind of things shouldn't I do? Should I do? And I just said, okay, well, I'll put on the forums. Were people interested in the class and wanting a class, and I got about 10 or 12 people that were interested, and so I gave the class. It was 3 hours, kind of put you to sleep, but I thought it gave a lot of good input, for people to get a good start on getting one of these built.
Right, and I think looking at the professionalism, how well executed it is, I think that brought those people in, and that's the kind of thing they might aspire to. And I think what you've done here has really inspired some people to move forward and maybe do one of these projects. So hopefully it turns out to be something interesting. Okay, and then so then you've got this rear door.
Yeah, this was one of the harder pieces to do because it had to be perfectly inset. The cabinet's built in 3/4 inch MDF, melamine MDF. That's why the surface is really smooth. This isn't painted. Really easy to use and maintain. Pretty durable once it gets vertical. And this door is 5/8 inch MDF. So that way when you close it,
Oh, yeah, cool.
close it. They close it.
Oh, it's even a locking door.
It's a locking door, yeah.
Okay, that's great.
So it closes flush. There you go.
Nice touch, professional. That's right. It's got wheels on the bottom. You can.
So wheels are on the bottom. So when you want to move it, all you got to do is put your foot here, lean it backwards, and it's easily pushed by one person. You don't need 2 or 3 people to move this thing.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic, Rodney. We do appreciate your time, and we're glad you're here as a member, because this is a showcase project for the Vector folks. And we understand that you've gotten a little bit of help. Have they helped you out a little bit? Any kind of?
Nah, not really, because it's Vector's mostly pinball.
Right, a different era.
A different era. So they've had one. I think they had one guy who did main. That was that Nick said was here a while back, and he did a main machine. And then I told Nick, that says, look, I got a Mortal Kombat build coming up. So I came up and talked to him, and I says, hey, can you get me a space over in Vector so I can put the machine while I'm building it? So he was gracious enough to get an open area for me and give me somewhere to work. And technically, they were asking, questions in regards to, how do you build it? What do you do? Things like that. And then I asked them questions about the pinball piece of it.
Okay.
So we're basically sharing information back and forth, but it's off basically 2 different projects.
Right. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Well, we've taken up enough of your time. I think the project looks absolutely fantastic. Can you boot it up? Are we at a point where you can boot it up?
Let me see.
We won't take much more.
Yeah, I just put these new boards in here so they're not configured. That's why it keeps going through that. Lovely. Try it again. This one has my seat on the foot. You'll be sitting in front of that. Yeah, it might not boot up because I have to. It's gonna.
Oh, really?
Plug in those new boards.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do some configuration on it for it to come up.
Okay. All right.
It might go through this because it went through the Windows air cover.
Uh-huh.
Let me see what it does when it counts down.
Sure. Great, Rodney. Thanks for the time, man.
Not a problem, man.
Looks fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks. Thank you.